Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
The Scandalous Life of K-pop's Most Hated Trainee.
Ooh.
Han Seo Hee.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but let's see.
Top B.I., Won-ho, and Yang Hyun Suk. What do all of these top celebrities have in common? Well, the answer is they all got involved with a K-pop trainee by the name of Han Seo Hee, and they all
Oh, it's a
paid
girl. I thought it was going to be a guy. Okay.
the price for it. Whether it's facing false allegations, engaging in illicit affairs, or participating in illegal activities, getting tangled into Han Seo Hee's web of chaos has brought about the demise of numerous K-pop celebrities, groups, and even CEOs. And with 3, now soon to be 4 drug scandals under her belt, you'd honestly be hard-pressed to find a K-pop drug scandal that didn't somehow involve this.
So what is she, a drug dealer or
So
something?
who the heck is Han Seo Hee, and
Please
how
tell
can a new
us.
trainee like her bring about so much trouble?
Yeah, she's supposed to be a trainee.
Greetings, professors! Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the one and only Han Seo Hee and her tragic transformation from being a once promising trainee to becoming the literal definition of a hot mess.
Yeah.
But of course, Han Seo Hee isn't the only hot mess out there, because I too can be an absolute mess, especially in the kitchen. Which is why I really want to thank the sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh.
Sorry.
HelloFresh, with every ingredient setting. Yup, it's real actual to everything all off, or like guessing how much I need. Speaking of trying out different foods, even have
You know, when they always show you like the tacos together, it's crazy how they get them to like stick together. She has to put like a toothpick to have them close together. But when you see commercials, you never see that.
That's the trick, is the toothpick.
I think in the commercials they put glue.
So Han Seo Hee's journey into the K-pop industry started all the way back in 2011, when she auditioned for JYP Entertainment at the tender age of 16.
Yeah, the vocals a little rough.
Yeah.
Thanks to her amazing voice, she was
Amazing
able to win
voice.
first place at the audition.
That was
But for
amazing
some
voice.
reasons, she never ended up signing with JYP. Guess they really dodged a bullet there. Instead, the very next year, she competed on the NBC audition program Birth of a Great Star Season 3. There, Seo Hee managed to catch the eye of the judges and advanced all the way to the top 24 before getting eliminated. Whether we like to admit it or not, it was obvious that Seo Hee possessed quite a lot of natural talent, so it was no surprise that after the show, she received love calls from many different agencies. And in 2013, she finally made the decision to join Pledis Entertainment as a trainee. Unfortunately, Seo Hee did not enjoy her time at Pledis Entertainment. In an Instagram story, she revealed that managers would spy on trainees with CCTV cameras to make sure that they weren't sleeping or lazing around. And Seo Hee just could not get behind this strict training system, so she ended up leaving just a few months.
I guess.
I mean...
I'm surprised she was able to leave.
I don't know. Like if you're like a training on a basketball, and you're gonna train. You're not gonna be sleeping around. Coach is gonna kick you out of practice. You're gonna get kicked off the team if you sleep around. So why is this problematic? If you're training to make a team, K-pop team, and if you're sleeping around, and why is that problematic that you're not gonna make the team if you're sleeping around? I don't exactly have a problem with them doing that.
Well,
It comes with territory.
we also seen for Cat's Eye, there were some teammates that didn't show up to practice all the time, was late, but they were still able to advance. So I do think some people have it like a reasons. Maybe they say, oh, she was sleeping around, but maybe there was an excuse to that, a reason to that.
I think it kind of depends on your talent level, though, doesn't it? Like, if you're LeBron James on the team, yeah, you can probably sleep around a little bit, right? Nobody's going to knock you out. But if you're someone 15th member making a team, you have to work hard.
What's her ranking? I don't
She's
know.
a trainee. She hasn't made a couple of teams already. This is her third attempt to make a team. So she's definitely not on the top tier. She's not like the number one. So she cannot sleep around. I don't exactly have a problem with that.
Later, Following this, she would join a string of other agencies, including Source Music, where she trained with the members of G-Friend, and Jellyfish Entertainment, where she trained with the members of Google Doc.
Yeah, she's hopping from agency to agency, so she's definitely not like the top tier, candidate.
Yeah, she doesn't give
up. The problem was, most of these companies would have obviously had similarly strict training systems as Pledis. And if you need to know one thing about Han Seo Hee, it is that following rules isn't exactly her strong suit. Han Seo Hee was known to have a rebellious personality, and it is also believed that this was around the time that she first began experimenting with alcohol and drugs. So it's no surprise that she didn't manage to last long in any of these companies. In fact, an anonymous employee even revealed that Han Seo Hee only lasted a month in his company before getting kicked out due to, quote, personal problems. So this brings us to 2016. By now, 5 years had already passed, and many of the people that Seo Hee had once trained with had already become successful artists. Yet she herself was back at square one, with no company and no debut in sight. Now at this point, most trainees in her position would have probably chosen one of two paths. Some might choose to continue auditioning for more companies, while others might leave the entertainment industry and...
I don't know, if you audition for 4 or 5 companies, and you haven't made a team... I don't know. You need someone in your corner to say maybe that's not for you. I don't know. It's just.
But this is all free, right?
What's free? Audition?
To be part of like the trainee program.
It's free, but you don't get to pay. You don't get paid either. So I don't really exactly know how you
so
make
maybe,
a living.
they keep her busy.
Yeah, well, how do you make a
living? Because otherwise she would have to go to school, and she doesn't seem like she wants to go do that.
So you think this is easier path than real life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pursue another career. But Han Seo Hee chose neither. Instead, she continued to linger around the entertainment scene, not as a trainee, idol, or member of staff, but rather as the K-pop industry's resident drug dealer.
As a groupie?
Unlike her idol
so she was a drug dealer. I guess why she was a drug dealer.
Business seemed to take off immediately, and it wasn't long before she was distributing drugs to some of the top celebrities in Korea. Perhaps one reason why she was so successful was because she had built up many connections in the industry thanks to her years of training at different companies.
True.
But on top of that, she also took up a job at a high-end brothel in Gangnam known as a Tempodol. Now for those of you who are wondering, Tempodol translates to 10%, meaning only the most beautiful 10% of women can work there. Now, as you can imagine, these brothels would be hella expensive, which meant that Seo Hee had the opportunity...
Guys, is brothels legal in Korea?
...to service wealthy celebrities, businessmen, and CEOs, who not only funded her drug habits, but introduced her to even more people within the entertainment industry. And one of her most notable clients happened to be none other than Yang Hyun Suk, the then CEO of YG Entertainment. That's right, guys. Seo Hee was never a YG trainee, and this was actually how she first became associated with the company. According to court documents, Yang Hyun Suk was introduced to Seo Hee through the brothel owner, Miss Jung. The pair would then continue a sexual relationship, with Yang Hyun Suk regularly visiting the brothel to meet Seo Hee. Additionally, the pair would also...
Okay, even if brothels are illegal, it seems like it's widely accepted then. Because if we know all this and there was it seems like there's no backlash on him, then I think it's just accepted, I guess.
Communicate via instant message, and Yang Hyun Suk even gave Seo Hee many free tickets to YG concerts, which might explain how Seo Hee managed to come into contact with so many of YG's artists. However, it also seemed like she might have just had a natural affinity with people from this company, because while she was seeing Yang Hyun Suk, she also came into contact with big band member Top on a completely separate occasion. According to news reports, Top first saw Seo Hee at a cafe in Cheongdam and was so captivated by her beauty that he obtained her number from an acquaintance and proceeded to contact her. Side note, I have no idea if Top knew about her relationship with his boss, but I can only imagine how awkward things must have been when he first found out. Regardless...
That's awkward.
Imagine YG smashing her and that's so...
Why is he smashing?
That's so... That's what the fuck?
Top and Seo Hee ended up dating from October of 2016 to sometime in mid-2017, when their relationship was cut short thanks to a huge drug scandal. The scandal first began after a stylist from YG Entertainment was caught smoking weed in Japan, which caused police to launch a full-scale investigation against the entire company. Now, initially, they were unable to find evidence against any of the artists under YG. However, they then received a tip from an arrested drug dealer that Han Seo Hee was involved in his drug distribution scheme. And upon doing more investigation into Han Seo Hee, they discovered that she had actually been smoking weed with her boyfriend Top on multiple occasions throughout their relationship. But as it turns out, Top wasn't even the only YG artist who had been in contact with Seo Hee, because police then discovered chat logs that showed iKON member BI had also attempted to purchase LSD from Seo Hee. And upon questioning, Seo Hee admitted that she had indeed delivered drugs to iKON's dormitory. As more and more YG artists became linked to Seo Hee and her drug use, Yang Hyun Suk realized that if he didn't want his entire company to go up in flames, then he needed to put a stop to this investigation. And the best way to do that was to get Seo Hee to shut up. So on the 23rd of August 2016, Yang Hyun Suk summoned Seo Hee in for a meeting. Nobody knows exactly what was discussed, but after this suspicious meeting, Seo Hee immediately retracted her statements about delivering drugs to iKON's dormitory. Yang Hyun Suk also sent Seo Hee away to the US for 3 months.
It would have been funny if he said, how are you supposed to practice for 10 years and to never debut?
She knows.
She knows.
She knows.
December of 2016 to February.
How it feels? You end up selling drugs.
February of 2017, which coincidentally was just in time for Big.
But it kind of, the whole story kind of goes with her personality, though. As you said, she didn't want to go to school. She wanted, to do something else. She didn't want that life, and she hustled. She hustled in the companies. She was trying to hustle the system that failed, and she became another type of hustle. Hustle in the drug game. I mean, you know how the saying goes: don't hate the player, hate the game.
Plan to wrap up their promotions and for Top to enlist in the military. That's suspicious.
I mean,
that's weird.
It was time for him probably anyway, so I don't know if that's that weird.
Yang Hyun Suk's efforts, the investigations were greatly delayed, and the case dragged on for years. But in the end, Top and BI were still found guilty and sentenced to 2 and 4 years of probation respectively for their drug use. Additionally, Yang Hyun Suk's shady actions eventually came to light, and after significant public pressure, he was forced to step down as the CEO of YG Entertainment in mid-2019. As for Seo Hee, she was found guilty of smuggling and distributing drugs. Despite being at the center of this entire controversy, she somehow managed to get away with just a slap on the wrist. Police never investigated her for any other potential drug dealings, and in June of 2017, she ended up getting sentenced to just 4 years of probation, marking her first, but certainly...
I mean, she's a small fish in the grand scheme of things. They gave the bigger sentence. Well, it wasn't bigger; it was the same. To BI 4 years as well, and I guess Top was 2 years. I think she said so. Smaller, but the idols got bigger sentences, kind of like to make an example. Because you can't make an example out of a trainee. But out of an idol, you can make an example. So they just got a little higher sentences to make an example. So I understand why she didn't get that much time, because she's just a regular drug dealer. Like, you're not gonna go catch every drug dealer in the corner and give them big sentences. It's a waste of resources.
Certainly not her last drug charge. Throughout the rest of 2017, Han Seo Hee continued to get into various controversies, mainly surrounding her feminist beliefs. Now, don't get me wrong, I myself identify as a feminist, and I think that feminism can be a great movement. But the problem with Seo Hee was that she was using her brand of feminism to hate on transgendered individuals and demonize all men. And she even declared herself a member of radical feminist group Woman, which had previously been investigated for posting revenge porn against men. Han Seo Hee's extremist views caused her to get into frequent online
That's interesting. How did we go from sleeping around with men now to being all feminist against men?
But I think the part where she's sleeping around with men can be also...
That's what triggered it, kind of?
No, like a character trait to why she also hates men too at the same time. There's this thing that you abuse what you actually have an issue with, a tricky relationship with.
Okay.
Arguments with celebrities like transgender model
Like if you have an issue, like for example with food, you go and you can binge and eat food. It's not like you reject food. Like how can you have an issue with food but then still also binge food?
like, so what? And then you throw up after eating? Is that what you're saying?
It's just the context of that relationship.
I don't know if that's a good example, though. I understand what you're saying with food, but that's like bulimia or anorexia, one of them.
Exactly. So it's like some sort of issue, psychological issue that she has with men, which can cause her to abuse men and also hate men at the same time.
Okay, I mean, I get it. So what, you have sex with men and then you kill them afterwards because you hate them? Okay. That's like what is that character that, you know, that kills the man after getting impregnated? Not the character, but like some sort of animals do that, right?
I think there's a...
The bees? Don't, like...
I think it's a fly.
I think it's bees, because when the male bee impregnates the queen bee, he dies, I think. That's kind of...
An influencer.
And also, she kind of took advantage of those men too at the same time.
She did.
In the case of Kang Hyuk-min, the beef began because of differences over their views on feminism. But instead of engaging in a normal and respectful debate, Seo Hee escalated the situation by posting on her social media that Kang Hyuk-min was a potential rapist. Police later determined that these accusations were completely false, but Kang Hyuk-min continued to receive death threats and accusations from the radical feminist community. And in the end, he filed a lawsuit against Seo Hee and 10,000 netizens for defamation.
Oh, she's a YouTuber.
Sadly though, this wouldn't be the only time that Seo Hee made false accusations. Because in 2019, she and her then-girlfriend Jung Da-eun did the exact same thing to K-pop
Oh, so she's into girls now.
Maybe girlfriend as in friend as a girl.
Boy group Monster X. For some context, Jung Da-eun is a G-rated reality star who had previously appeared on the show Ozang Generation back in the late 2000s. And this was actually where she became friends with her co-star Wonho, who later went on to become a member of Monster X. Fast forward to October of 2019, Wonho and Da-eun's careers had obviously taken very different turns, and the two had seen...
That's a girlfriend on the ride?
Maybe she wait.
She real bush then, huh?
Wait.
I don't know.
Maybe she is in a relationship with a woman then.
Okay, maybe, but that is like a...
Before she was presenting herself quite masculine too as well.
Okay.
In the previous...
seemingly fallen out of contact. Instead, Dan met and began dating Seo Hee. And the reason why I use air quotes is because sometimes this couple would claim that they were in an actual relationship, while other times they would claim that they were just putting on a business lesbian performance. So none of us knows if this relationship was ever even real or if it was just another publicity stunt. But regardless, what we do know for sure was that this couple bonded over their love for... and not even a month after this...
When did this video drop? Hold up. 11 months ago. Wrong song choice. Should have been Espa. Drum... Oh, Espa didn't come out in October. Espa came out, I think, in November or December. Never mind. But Espa would have been perfect, though.
The dating. They decided that they were going to launch a hate campaign against ex-friend Wonho and his group Monster X. On the 29th of October, Jung Da-eun suddenly claimed that Wonho owed her money. The couple also accused Wonho of committing numerous crimes during his youth, including violence, theft, and even drug use, which is pretty ironic coming from these two. The scandal caused police to launch a full-scale investigation into the supposed drug use, which proved to be completely fake, and Wonho was cleared of all of the drug charges. However, he admitted to having a troubled
past. That's crazy.
It's
like the saying goes that misery loves company. Like, those two couldn't succeed on their own, so anyone that was like in their lives and they are now doing better, they want to bring them down.
But Han Seo Hee and Jung Da-eun still weren't done with this poor boy group just yet, because Han Seo Hee then posted this screenshot of messages from a married man who claimed that his wife was having an affair with another Monster X member, Shonu. Fortunately, this screenshot was later also proven to be taken out of context, as Shonu had already broken up the relationship as soon as he found out about the woman's marital status. We really don't know if Seo Hee and Da-eun had more plans to take up even more Monster X members. But if there's a silver lining to this entire situation, at least this toxic couple were so toxic that even they couldn't handle each other for long. And before they could cause any more damage to Monster X or any other K-pop group, this disastrous pair ended up imploding on themselves. In December of 2019...
I don't think so. If the only thing that they had in common was love for drama, that's not really a good core for the relationship. Like, you know, there has to be some sort of foundation. If your foundation is drama, that's kind of okay.
Even 3 months after their relationship began, Seo Hee and Da-eun broke up after an alleged domestic violence incident, which Seo Hee obviously couldn't resist the urge to post about online. Obviously, none of us knows exactly what went down behind the scenes, and while many people have claimed that this was just a publicity stunt, there is also a chance that the incident could be real. But regardless, I think we can all agree that abused or not, it was still for the best that these two women broke up. So that marked the end of Seo Hee and Da-eun's disastrous relationship, but it sure didn't mark the end of Seo Hee's destructive lifestyle and attention-seeking behavior. In July of 2020, Seo Hee was booked on her second drug charge. Now, if you recall, at this point, Seo Hee was still on probation because of her YG drug scandal. So she was having to do random drug tests as part of her probation. And it was during one of the urine tests that they discovered she had amphetamines in her system. Instead of just admitting to doing the drugs, Seo Hee spun some ridiculous story about how her urine cup had supposedly fallen into the toilet and gotten contaminated by other people's urine. But this proved to be impossible because the only other people who had used that toilet were all male, and the urine sample that Seo Hee submitted was clearly from a female. So yeah, she was found guilty and sentenced to 1.5 years in prison.
That's interesting. I think this excuse would have flown here in the States.
What do you mean?
I think it would have been, they would have to retake the test. They would make her retake the test.
Why?
I think it's a valid excuse for, here in the States, I think it would be a valid excuse. And I think an attorney could argue that it's an inadmissible cup because it fell in.
But I think in science they can distinguish if it's man or woman.
Yeah, but not everybody believes science. Like if you go in front of a jury, I think you could convince the jury that I would dismiss this cup. I don't know. I think here in the States it will fly. I think it will fly.
That's a reach. That's like if you don't have science, like.
But the solution is simple: just retake the test, re-piss in the cup.
But as if all of that wasn't embarrassing enough, news reports stated that she caused a huge commotion during sentencing by cursing at the judge and yelling at staff and other inmates on the prison bus. Fast forward to 2022, Han Seo Hee had finally finished serving her prison sentence, but she was back in court once again, this time as a victim/star witness in Yang Hyun Suk's Intimidation trial. I swear the courtroom is literally Han Seo Hee's second.
God damn, so this YG guy, he has some bullshit on behind the scenes? Not just because I kind of thought, okay, it was hype, mostly because right now we see hype. Then SM Town has their own little shit going on. YG been quiet lately, but the guy has some shit going on there too in the past.
Oh. Anyways, this new case involved the secret meeting between Yang Hyun Suk and Han Seo Hee that took place during the YG drug scandal. So, the 23rd of August 2016, Yang Hyun Suk summoned Seo Hee in for a meeting. Nobody knows exactly what was discussed, but after this suspicious meeting, Seo Hee immediately retracted her statement.
Right, do you remember that? Our memory is not that short.
Well, this meeting was being brought back into the spotlight because Yang Hyun Suk was now facing charges for threats of retaliation. In other words, it is believed that during the meeting, he might have threatened Han Seo Hee into helping with BI's cover-up. According to Han Seo Hee, she claimed that Yang Hyun Suk had confiscated her phone and threatened to ruin her career if she didn't cooperate.
How can you take her word for... Like, you can diminish her character in court easily, that you cannot take anything she says seriously. I don't know if she's like, what kind of witness is that? Like, I don't... She shouldn't be allowed to testify.
She's not the best witness.
Yeah, but she clearly shown that she's an opportunist.
But it could be possible too that they have over her head. I don't know if she's on probation or anything like that. So if they want to do a negotiation. No,
I understand, but I'm saying the opposite attorney should be able to quickly dismiss that testimony. Like, she's not a reliable witness.
No, but you're not understanding. Maybe she's still on probation and she wants to reduce time or something like that.
No, I understand why she would testify. I get that part. I'm just saying the other party should be able to dismiss the statement because to me, it's like she's an unreliable witness.
I think what will make her credible if she give the statement in return, and if she's found lying, she can get more time and go to jail.
But this is kind of like a he said, she said situation. There's nobody in the room. There was no recordings. She's saying he said that. He's saying he ain't said that. And she's not a reliable witness. So how can you take...
She's not the perfect witness, but it doesn't mean we dismiss what she says entirely. Because if there was a crime that was committed, I'm pretty sure Korean government wants to investigate.
I don't think you could take what she says seriously.
Which, don't get me wrong, I definitely do not support threats of any kind. But honestly, if that's what he said, then that's by far one of the shittiest threats I've ever heard. Because you can't ruin a career that doesn't even exist.
Okay. That was a bar. That was a bar. That was like Eminem at MGK bar.
The funniest thing, it seemed like the judges also had these exact same thoughts, because Yang Hyun Suk ended up being acquitted of the charge, not because the judges didn't believe that he made a threat, but rather because they felt like the threats he did make simply weren't scary enough. I mean, the judge literally said, the exchanges between Yang Hyun Suk and Han Seo Hee do not adequately indicate that Han Seo Hee was under severe pressure. As of now, the prosecution has filed an appeal against the ruling, and Yang Hyun Suk's intimidation trial is expected to continue. The problem is, the prosecution might experience a bit more trouble now.
Why we haven't heard nothing about that? I assume it's probably resolved then.
That they're missing this star witness, Han Seo Hee. But why would Seo Hee be missing, you might ask? Well, because just a week ago, she was busted in yet another K-pop drug scandal.
Oh shit, here we go again.
On the 21st of October, police discovered that a drug package had entered Korea. Upon tracing the whereabouts of this package, they discovered that it had been delivered to a high-end brothel in Gangnam. Sound familiar?
Ooh,
She also took up a job.
I'm assuming then brothels gotta be legal, because if the government knows it was delivered to a brothel, like why they don't shut down the brothel? That clearly has to be legal, right?
At a high-end brothel in Gangnam, known as
we got it.
including, of course, our girl Han Seo Hee, as well as actor Lee Sung-hyun, socialite Hwang Hana, and most incredibly, Han Seo Hee's ex-girlfriend, Daeun. Nice how everything comes full circle, doesn't it? So currently, it looks like Han Seo Hee might be facing yet another drug charge. And since we're on the topic of drug charges, I wanted to make this clear. All the celebrities who did drugs with Han Seo Hee are fully responsible for their own actions. So if you're one of those fans who thinks that your oppa can do no wrong, then just know that I do not agree with you.
Wait, what she said?
Those fans who thinks that your oppa can do no wrong, then just know that
It's one thing to debate about the legality, but I do not agree with the double standards. If it's okay for your oppa to do drugs, then it's unfair to say that Han Seo Hee should be thrown in jail for doing the exact same thing. Okay, fair enough.
do not agree with
To
you.
your
That
oppa.
being said, Han Seo Hee is clearly the common denominator here. She just seems to bring about trouble wherever she goes. And considering her long list of
I don't know. I have no problems with people doing drugs. It's as long as they don't hurt nobody by doing that. I don't really think it's our business, but that's just me.
crimes and other controversies, it's no surprise that she has a terrible reputation in the K-pop industry.
일반 사람들이 날 생각했을 것 같지. 기사서만 날씨 파니까. 기사님들이 장점이니까.
Seo Hee herself knows this and claims that she thrives
The
off the
thing is,
negative
I
attention.
feel like we don't live in a perfect world, and it's just that when you get these things off from the streets, it's unregulated, and you can really harm yourself and really harm others.
That is true. It's a problem that it's unregulated. It would be much easier if it was regulated.
Deceased. But based on her reliance on drugs and her clear mental health issues, I truly doubt if she's really as happy as she claims to be. I know I've been dunking on Seo Hee this entire video, but honestly, it can't be a happy existence constantly receiving so many death threats and hate comments from K-pop fans. And personally, I believe that this whole villain persona she's putting on might just be a way for her to cope with the bitterness and sadness she feels due to her failed K-pop career.
Yeah.
꿈이 좀 없어. 노래를 하고 싶다는 생각은 언제나 항상 있었어. 근데 나이도 그렇고 이것저것 생각하면
Yeah, she definitely has no career in K-pop anymore.
친구들한테
That's
음식
bullshit.
초보가 너무 걸렸잖아. 이분들 나이는 너무
She has
잘하잖아.
career in drugs though.
불만한 것 같아.
I wonder if it bothers her
If you really think about it,
that she's
Seo Hee's
known in this way, because ultimately she became kind of like a notorious star.
She's notorious. Yeah.
situation is actually pretty sad. So I truly hope that she will eventually find some purpose in life and get the help that she so desperately needs. Thank you for watching.
Interesting video. Okay. That was something.
I don't know if she wants to help herself, truly. She seems to want to take the easy way out, and whoever will allow her to do that, I think that's what she's going to continue to do. Interesting video. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.